Okay, so the first thing I told us that we're going to, I said we're going to look at a few things. What are the objects? Object linking and design. We said we're also going to look at hyperlinking. We're going to look at all those things before we go over to our layout. But there is one thing I forgot to talk about, and that is perspective drawing. So I'm just quickly going to show us a technique that I use in creating perspective drawing. So really we have three types of perspective drawing: 1 point, 2 point, 3 point. So 1 point means you have one vanishing point in the drawing. 2 point means you have two vanishing points, and 3 points, three points. And usually for 1 point perspective drawing is used in interior design. So if you are in the interior, as in if you are inside the space, we use 1 point to do that kind of drawing. Then 2 points, we use that most for when you are in exterior, when you are trying to simulate exterior drawing. So you are outside and you are trying to pick a building. Then you can use 2 points perspective drawing for that. Then 3 points is used for more of area views, but we're only going to be looking at 1 point. Just to show you how I do that. So if I'm to do an interior wall, let's just say this room now. So what I'll do is, if I know the length of this space, I know the length, I can just pick the length and draw. So you know that this room is more rectangle. Alright, so I would want to start from rectangle. So let's just assume this is the length of this room. Okay. So we have this. Mind you, what I'm creating now is I'm creating the how do you call it? The width of this room and the height. That's what I'm doing here. Okay. And if you notice that for this room at the back, there's another rectangle that I'm seeing. So it's just like assume that I'm standing and I'm looking down. I'm going to see that rectangle at the back. Then it comes back towards me. So I would want to create that rectangle also. So the way I do that is before I create the rectangle, I will create a diagonal line from here all the way to this place, and create another one from here all the way to this place, just to show that vanishing point. All right. So if I was on the highway, maybe I'm traveling, and I want to create perspective, this is fine. I will just stop this way, then I will start building it from here. But because in the room I can see the back, so it's not like it has vanished. So that is why I'm going to simulate that. So what I'll do is to simulate the back is I can just create a line. So let's just assume this is where the back ends. Okay, so I'll draw this all the way here and just look for a way to trim off this guy, just to show that okay, this is the back. So what I can do is to just assume I'm standing and I'm looking at you guys. So what I will be seeing is I will see this wall. I'll be seeing this wall and I'll see the back wall. So what I've done is I've done this right wall. So it's like I'm looking at it now. So my position is looking. I'm here now. I'm looking at it. So this is this wall. Just imagine what we are looking at. So this wall is that, and this wall is here. And then the back wall is what I'm raising. So you know that the back wall is a complete stuff. So I will just use a mirror to finish up this one. I'll select this, enter, pick this, and hold down shift to make sure I'm straight. So this is my back wall. Then I'll have to finish it with this line here. Draw a line, join in here, and do the same thing here. You get. Is it coming out now? Yeah. So now this is the back wall. So assuming this is me standing here. Okay. So now once we are done with that, the next thing we want to do is for us to simulate that perspective effect. We need to now employ those things under draw tools that I taught you last. Remember the divide, measure, all those things. That's what I'm going to simulate. So let me go to my multiple points. Remember, we talked about this multiple point, right? So if I go to my multiple point style, I want to choose this style, then bring this down. So maybe 2, so that if I bring my point out, I can click, sorry, if I come to my multiple points, to try and place my multiple point, this is my multiple point. I'll still be able to see this point. It won't be like, it won't just be like a dot. Okay. So we've set our multiple points. So what we can do now is to create that, yeah, I am, to create that perspective effect. I need to divide these two lines, this line and this line. I need to divide them into equal parts. So let's look at where from here going on. So let's assume we want to create this style. We want to create this style. Notice there are a bunch of boxes around. So for us to create that stuff, it would be nice if we just start drawing. It will not be accurate. So for me to get accurate perspective field, I need to divide this line to an equal part to this line. So if I'm dividing this line into 10, that means I have to also divide this line into 10. Then I can now start drawing them. I'm not getting this together. So let's try and see that. So that's where we can apply this our divide to. You have that. So divide. So if I say divide, I want to divide this line. It's saying I should select object to divide. This is the object I want to divide. Then how many segments? Let's say I want to divide this into 12 segments. So I have that division. So that means I need to do division on this guy also into the same 12 segments, right? So I'll do my division again, div. Then I'll select the object. Okay, so this will not work because it's complete object. So that means I need to explode this guy, right? I use rectangle to do that. X for explode before I can now divide. So X explodes this. So this is now an object. So if I run my divide, select this now, I can now put the same 12. So I have 12 subdivision here and also 12 subdivision. So why am I doing this? It's because I can create a line and start joining these subdivisions. So what I'm doing is I'm pressing spacebar to stop and run my last command because I know that line is my last command. So that's how you can create that simulation. You notice this one is straight because you get to a point where you have a straight line that comes at you. So this here, this here, this goes all the way to this place. This comes in. All right. So now we need to also do this horizontal. So that means you need to also subdivide this line. But in the case of this, since this line is equal to this line, I actually don't need to subdivide both of them. One of them is okay. I'll just draw a line all the way. So let's do our division and select the line we want to subdivide. So div for division, select this. So let's say this one we want to divide this into 8. So just say 8. So we have that subdivision. Okay, then we can just create a line, make sure our auto mode is on. So create a line all the way. So for us not to miss our mark, so we just let it go past it a little bit. We'll trim later. Hit spacebar. I think 8 is too small, but let's just continue. So we'll do this. And we keep going. Do we get what I'm doing? Okay. Okay, so we have that. Then I can now use my trim command to get rid of these guys. Then we have this. So we've been able to do the downfall. So if we had ceiling, it's the same thing we're going to do for the ceiling. You know the ceiling has all this pattern, so we can also divide for us to do that. But since in the case of this, there is no ceiling, there's no point us doing that same thing. So what we can do is let us continue working. You know that there's a pillar at the back, and this guy, If you look at it clearly, this wall goes all the way to there and pushes in. Okay? So we need to create that part of the wall. But the good thing here is that this subdivision will help us. Because we've already done this subdivision, so we can pick one of these guys to say that that is what we're going to use to simulate this end of this wall. So let's say we are going to pick one grid or one layer here, and let's say this is where the layer ends, this place. So we can pick this place and draw it up, and then we can draw it. So this is how we're going to do that. I'll just come all the way here, go to my line. I'll pick the line that I want. We know that this is the line I said I want. I'll click there, move it all the way up. Okay, so it's actually going to okay, so actually I am going to still subdivide this top to simulate that because it will not be on this line. It has to come out a little bit. So what I can do is to make everything easy for myself, I can actually select all the lines here, all these lines, except this guy. If I hold down shift, get rid of this, hold down shift, get rid of this, hold down shift, get rid of this, and then that. All the surrounding lines. If I get rid of them, I can mirror. Let's see. So if I say MI for mirror, I can pick this as my mid line. Then that would have done that top part. So we don't have to actually do it. You will see why we need it. You know, if I'm to draw this line up, I need to also draw it all the way to meet where it is here. Do you understand? Because this edge is not like the same edge as that end. That's why we need that line. Just for this now, for this purpose, we'll delete it later. So I'll draw my line and come all the way to this place where we need it, draw it up. It should meet this guy, okay? So once this meets this guy, that is the corner that we're looking for. So we're going to be trimming these guys out. So let's quickly use this to also do the column and also this beam. You know that there's a beam here. So we need to also create that beam. And then we also have the column here. So let's just draw the column. So we know that the column is going to be this end. So let's use this last one for the column all the way to this place. And this guy also all the way goes up to this. And this also joins here. So that's going to be our column. Then there is a grid that comes from this column that pushes out. So we know that that grid comes from here and pushes out. So what we can do, that grid also comes down a little bit. So we can also still do a little bit of small adjustment, small line. So let's okay, the grid comes down at a particular distance, maybe from here to here. Or we can also divide this guy actually. So we can divide this line and divide this line, then use both of them. Okay? So that we will know that we are accurate with the value. So let's just say we are dividing them into, let's just say 8 still. So we'll do this div, enter, select the object we want. We want to divide this into 8 equal parts. We do the same thing. Div, select this guy, 8 equal parts, so that we can draw the line out here. Okay, so this is what we're going to be using. This, then we now look for how to now join this. So we can always look for. So if I draw a line here, I know that this line connects to this line. Okay, then there should be a straight line that gets all the way to this place. So let's just say this is where we want it to get to, because there's a little bit of offset from the wall. So let's just say here, and that gets all the way here. Okay, it touches the end, so we just say this place, a little bit here. Okay, this is where it touches. So I can trim off this guy. So once we have that done, so we can just use our line to bring this out. Do you understand? So let's just draw a line from this place and just push this out a little bit. So I need to put off my auto mode. So let's say, okay, this is where we are. So we've been able to do this and we've done that. If I start deleting stuff now, you will see what we have. So I know that, okay, this we don't need all these lines anymore. So I'll just select all these ones that we don't need all the way to this place and delete those lines. I'll delete these lines. And this one, I'm going to trim this guy out. So I'll just use my trim command to trim this. Are you seeing that this is beginning to come out? So this place also, I'm going to trim this. We now have this. Do you get that now? The top part. So we're coming down. We know that we're going to trim this guy all the way to this place. Okay? We are going to trim this because we are not going to see this. Because this line would have covered this part of the wall would have covered this place. So you can start to see that we are now seeing that end part. So this place also, we are going to trim this line. Actually, we don't need this line anymore. Control Z, sorry, we need it. We are trimming this part of the line. No, we are not trimming that. So the wall gets all the way here. So you see why you need to always check so that you don't miss some things. So if this column gets here and it comes out to this place, so that means something is wrong with this beam. So that's where we are going to work. So I'm going to just come here, and this column is here. So we'll trim off this guy. This will not be seen. This will not be seen. This will not be seen, neither will this be seen. So this is more like the column we have there. Okay, so let's say this guy will not be seen. This will not be seen. And this also will not be seen. So I can actually select all these guys. So if I select this multiple points, right click, I can select similar, right? So instead of me deleting one by one, so just select one of them, then right click, go to select similar, go to select all the multiple points and delete them so that my whole screen will look neat. Then we have that, and trim this guy off. We'll trim this guy off. We are going to trim this and trim this. Even though it's not really looking nice, but you get it. So that's the part I just here. So now we have this space that we can now start to, so we have a door that we can place it. So if we have a door, we can just quickly create our door and just put the door here. So let's assume the door is somewhere here, from here all the way to this place. Have the door, and that's the back door here. Then we can put our switch. So we know the switch is here. But if you look at this drawing, does it feel like this place? I think it does. And that perspective that I was trying to use, all from rectangle and diagonal. So that's just what I want to show you about perspective. So we can use this technique to create any perspective, any. So perspective is just finding an one location and looking. So it's more like you are looking at an object from your own point of interest. So it's not like you as a person. It's more of I'm not like the first video. First let's say in the place if you're looking, there's no reason to look like this or the reason because anyone that is closest to you are very nice. And your father gets away from you, it gets smaller and smaller to you. So that's why we have. So if you notice here, this wall, you think this wall, it's even large to the point that we don't see the total height of this wall. It appears that we don't see. But here we are seeing the total height, so making this place look longer or higher than this one. But in the recent are the same height, it's just the perspective that is causing that stuff. Do you understand? So I have class for us, but let's finish. Okay? I know the next thing you say now. I'll be giving you what is not in hand. But I've told you that this, once you understand this technique, that's just what you need for any perspective drawing. It's just the same thing. Okay? All right. In your own, you could start from a portrait view in your own camera. It depends on the space you want to draw. Yours could be portrait. So that means you are going to do this all the way to this place, do this all the way to this place, and then build the other parts. Do you understand? Then start working from there. Yours might be very long that your second wall will be very small. So maybe it's small all the way to this place, just because you want to show enough stuff. Do you understand? So let's just say, just want to, I'm giving you a heads up to what you are going to create. So then you trim off this guy, trim off this guy. So you notice that this seem longer compared to this. Then you can now start building from there. Okay. All right. So that's the perspective drawing. So the next thing we have is how to link other software package to AutoCAD. And that will require us using what we call the OLE concept, object linking embedding. OLE means object linking embedding. So it means you link other objects from other software into AutoCAD. So you are embedding the package into this AutoCAD. So instead of you having to minimize AutoCAD to go open, you can actually see the file in AutoCAD and open the file in AutoCAD directly. That's where the linking is. So that's where the embedding is. Now the linking is now talking about, it's now saying that anytime you make any modification in the package, it gets updated in AutoCAD because there's a link. So whatever updates you have, you see the updates. Whatever change you have in that software, you see the updates. Let's just do it too. So if you want to run that package, the OLE concept, you have to go to your insert. If I'm correct, you go to your insert. Yes, under your data, you have your OLE objects. Then you notice we also say we have hyperlink. We're going to look at hyperlink in a moment. So let's look at this first. OLE object. So you can see what it says. Insert a linked or embedded object. So it could be any file. It could be image file. You get. It could be Excel sheet file. It could be Microsoft Word. If you have a Corel Draw, you can bring it. Do you understand? But it doesn't take movie or music file. So if I click on this OLE object, and it's going to load up this dialog box and tell me what I want to do. Do I want to create this object from scratch, or I've already created it and I want to bring it into AutoCAD? So choosing this option means you want to, from here, okay, choosing the first option which says create new means you want to create a new file from it. So whatever file you choose here is going to be the file that you want to create, like you're opening that package. But I'm assuming you already have the package that you want to just link into this place. So what we'll do is we'll go to create from file, not create link. So if I say create from file, you notice it comes to this and tells us to go and browse for that file we want to link. So let's say we have this file that I want to link. I'll just browse for that file and takes me to, so you can go to any location where you have that file saved. So if I come here, I can look for the file that I want to link. So let's say I have this book 5 that I want to link. So I'll just choose this book 5 What's wrong with you? Are you okay? So go to book 5 and click on open. Then once I open that, you notice there's this option for us to click on the link. So that's important. That's what will make it links anytime you do any changes there. So I'll say, okay, link this, and I'll just click on OK. So once you click on OK, it's going to load. And just for a moment, let's wait. So it's inserting the object file. So once the object file is inserted, we're going to see it come up here. So this is it. You can see that file. So this is a Excel sheet file. I can select it and I can resize it. Okay. So if I come here, I can even do a whole lot of things. If I say, okay, I want to move this guy, I can move it to this place. Let me just turn off this. I can move this here, and I can also scale. Remember your scale command. I can run my scale command on it, and pick from here to here, and choose my reference, R for reference. So it's telling me to specify reference length. This is my reference length from here to here. Remember, we know all these things. And scale this down. That's it. So you can actually scale it to your drawing scale and place it anywhere you want it to be placed. And you have your file open. So let me do another one for another. So maybe you have an Excel sheet for maybe BOM of whatever project you're doing, and you've done it in Excel sheet. You can actually bring it here so that you can. No, 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 no. The linking is outside the package. Outside that, so just to see what you get now. So, but from here you can still go into that. You know, if you're inserting the picture, you can't go into the actual file that makes up the picture. To go and edit it. Yeah, I can go into this and edit it. It will run Excel for me. Yeah, I can. I can go into it now. So let's load another thing. So I'll come here just to explain again. OLE object is going to load, we say file, browse. So we can, so this time, let's say we're going to choose another file. So maybe a PDF file. Okay, so let's say this PDF file is what we want to load. Select that, open, and there's no point linking, but let's just link. Then, what is this saying? So this, open. Okay, so once I have that, you click on OK. Okay, I want to browse again. So you just click on OK, then it's going to load this again. Okay, so this is the PDF file we have. So you know you can move them, do anything, or you can rotate it, but let's just delete and show us this. So if I want to edit this or I want to go into the file, all I need to do is just come into this guy and double click it. You know that, you remember all these modify tools that we have, all this property, you can also run a property on it. So I can come here and change the opacity. So okay, it's not even allowing. Okay, so if I escape, you see the opacity goes down. So if I select this, it comes up. So for me to see the file, if I double click inside this guy, it's going to, I need to double click inside. It's very important. Double click inside there, yeah. So it will load and run my Excel sheet. So once it runs, you can see the Excel sheet from here. So I can decide to now say I want to do it. So whatever I do here, you'll be seeing that update on this guy. So let's just bring this down. So you see, while I'm modifying it and I'm saving, you'll be seeing this. So if I say, okay, this guy should be 9,000, I'll just say 9,000. Oh, sorry, that's the total. Sorry. So let's say this guy is 1.5. I'll just say 1.5. And that's You are not seeing any update until I save. So if I come here and I say Control S to save, and that gets saved. If I come to you notice, if I go back again and decide, okay, I want to add another field, so maybe this is going to be our FFF. And for this FFF, maybe this is going to be F11 or F10. This one, maybe we have 5. Then this is maybe 500. So we have this. So if I save Control S, come here, do you understand? So that's the linking in place. So because we've already linked this, whatever I do there and I save, once I come to this place, it should have been updated. Okay. So that's the object linking embedding. You notice it links any other package to AutoCAD. What if we want to link AutoCAD file to AutoCAD file? Not that you cannot link AutoCAD using OLE, but it's not that really intuitive. Okay, so what we can do is, so let me just delete this. So if I want to link another AutoCAD file, so why do we link AutoCAD files in the first place? So why we link AutoCAD file is because we want to show detailed drawing of maybe a particular section. Okay, so I have already prepared this. So more like, so what I want to do is I want to, from this drawing, show a detailed drawing of this wall going down. Do you understand? So the wall, when you section the wall, that's when you see the detailed drawing, what structure the wall is made up of, going down to the foundation, footing, and all that. So I will not, it would not be nice for me showing it in elevation view, right? Because elevation view you don't need to show that detail. So you can create a separate detailed drawing and now link this to that detailed drawing. Do you understand? So maybe what I can do to this is just to revision cloud. We've done this in our draw too. This place, this revision cloud. Remember we said we have option. It's just to point people's attention. When I was explaining revision cloud, I said we use it to show detail. So this is just to bring people's attention to this place. So even if I come and I give it a particular color, maybe this color. So it's just to like call attention that, hey, something is happening here. You get? Because look at it, if I zoom out this way, there's no how your attention will not go to that guy. Is to call attention, so it's just to attract you. So when you now get there, you are inquisitive of why is this thing there? So that's why we want to create an hyperlink or a hyperlink. Is it correct? An hyperlink, a hyperlink. You get what I'm trying to say? So, so you can create a hyperlink to the detailed drawing. All right. So this is what I want to hyperlink it to. This detail section. So we're assuming this is the detailed drawing of that guy, where we have all the components that makes up the wall going down to the foundation. We have labeling of this stuff. Do you understand? So this is the detailed drawing. So we look at the name, detail section view. So I can close it. I actually don't need it open, just so that I can see. So if I want to create the hyperlink now, what I need to do is go to my insert. I have the hyperlink. So if I click on hyperlink, AutoCAD will tell me to select object that I want to create an hyperlink for, or create a hyperlink for. I'll just select this object. Once I have it selected, I'll press enter. This will come up and it's going to tell me to load or search for that file. So I need to browse for the file. So what you just need to do is you come to this file. I will browse this file. Then it takes you to wherever. So you can just go to wherever it is and just pick the file. So I know that the file is here, detail section drawing or detail section view. So if I pick this detail section view and I open that, and you notice it's listed here, I now have it here. I can add a text to display here. You understand? So it is more of descriptive text that I want to display. So maybe I'll just say um, displays a detailed section view of the wall to the ground. Do you understand? It's just to give detailed information about what that is. So once I have that done, the next thing I'll just do is just click on OK. All right. So you notice, mind you, remember, we click on the file to search for the file, add the text to display to it. Then I'll just click on OK, and that is done. So if I bring my mouse to the object now, there's something you're going to notice. If I bring my mouse to this guy, you notice you don't see anything. The only thing you see is just the normal tooltip that we have. But if I bring my mouse to an object that has been hyperlinked, you're going to see two things. You're going to see this arrow, then you're going to see another smaller that says, can you see? Displays a detailed section view of the wall. That text to display that I wrote, you can see it. Under it is now telling you how you can open it. It's saying hold down Control and click to open that link. If you look at it now, these are all the drawings I have open. You can see that. But if I click here and hold down Control, then click here, it's going to open the detailed drawing that's there. So that's how you can hyperlink objects. You can use it in architectural designs. This is an example. You can use it in your electrical design. So maybe you have a section, maybe, okay, for instance, now, you are doing that schematic drawing, and you don't want to show the whole, so you have a PLC, for instance. You have a PLC that normally in the whole schematic drawing, you don't want to be showing the whole detailed information about the PLC. So you can create a separate drawing for the PLC that shows all your inputs and outputs and graphs, giving the ratings, everything, the vision that have ground, Johnston. Then you can link that basic shape to detail, Johnston. So you can actually use that hyperlink for that purpose. Hmm? So this is just for the architectural aspect of it. And another way you can still do is if you are doing the site plan, like I said, the site plan, you will not want to show the floor plan. So if you are doing a site plan, probably maybe this is what you're going to be having. So let's just assume this our sites drawing. You have this are our, so let's just say this is it. Then you have your road system that goes all the way from here to here, and this one goes all the way there, and this one also comes here. So these are more like the road system. Do you understand? Then in between, you're going to be having some houses somewhere. So you don't want to show the floor plan with that house. So instead, what we do is we just create maybe a rectangle to show the site plan. So to show the roof of the building. So let's just say this, 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 and draw one line from the middle to this middle, just to show the roof. So this is what you can now hyperlink. Do you understand? So you can have all these guys all around. You can just copy this. Maybe you have another one here. You have another one here. So maybe you have another buildings here all around. So maybe this one, we'll just rotate this one. Pick from here. So maybe this is having this rotation. Do you understand? Maybe this one even still have another layout self. So maybe this layout goes this way. You can just say extend this line here, then trim. But you get what I'm trying to say now. Hmm? So let's say this one gets all the way here, join here. So this is another layout, just to, so you can see that this is more like a roof plan, showing the roof of all this. So you are on an area view. So in area view, you won't be able to be showing the floor plan. So you can already have a separate drawing for the floor plan and link this guy. you get, you just open that floor plan so you can see the layout. That's just another stuff. So that's that. Then the next thing we're also going to look at is what we call the XREF, external reference. Now this external reference is powerful. And let me first off give you the disadvantage of all these two things. These two things we've looked at so far. Talking about the OLE objects and the hyperlink. Now, if I was showing, if before this guy, before this OLE stuff, I showed you the property, you will see the file size of this object. And then after I add the OLE object, you notice that the file size will change. And what happens is that if I'm to create different hyperlink or OLE, bringing them here, or even use my block. So in the case of this guy now, I want to put doors here. I want to put doors here. You know, if I'm to use the block approach that we've done, we've created blocks. So let's assume we've created a block of our door. I want to bring it in. The thing with using block is that, or using any of this link is that, the more of these components you add into this guy, the larger the file size of this drawing start becoming. And that's when AutoCAD starts slowing down and lagging, which eventually crashes. So you want to optimize your AutoCAD as much as possible. So using block would not be appropriate in this case, even though you've created it as block. Am I making any sense? So if I say I want to insert a block, I'll tell you what I mean by that. If I come here, I don't want this guy. I don't like why this one is coming. So if I go to my block, there is this door that I created for this door elevation that I created. So if I open this door elevation and wait for it to load, because you remember, so once this loads, so now this is me trying to bring the door as a block. You know, if I bring it as a block, I now start placing it different location. The more of the instance that I'm placing, the larger the file size of this drive, because it's actually seeing the whole segment of the door. It's seeing them as objects. And because it's seeing them as objects, all the lines, all the curves, is adding to the file size, which is not good for me. So instead of me using this approach, there's another, a better approach that I can use, whereby AutoCAD will not be seeing those lines. Instead, it's only going to be reading the file. It's only going to be reading the file name. So it's more like, I decided to say, okay, I don't want to see Mr. Afolabi. So instead of looking at you, I'm seeing Mr. Afolabi, I'm seeing his name, and my, so just assume I'm on supercomputer. I'm already happy with my database. So I know your location and all this. So instead of seeing you as your full flesh and blood, I'm only seeing location, the blood group, the family number, all these things. So it's your detail that I'm seeing. So from your detail is what I'm trying. I'm now using your detail to visualize you. So I'm not seeing you as if you are actually. Do you understand? So in that way, this place is empty today. I'm not seeing anything. Your chair is empty. I'm not seeing anything. I'm only reading your dialogue. I'm reading your. Do you understand? So that's what extra is. So it's not so in that way. It's not going to be adding to any. It's not adding any kilobytes to my file. To show you. So if I bring this guy, I load this. You notice if I put this here, this is a block, right? That means I have to come here, and if I start copying this guy here, and I'll use this approach from here to here, here to here, to here, to here. So as I'm doing all these guys, I shifted this a bit You. This approach is fine. You think it's fine, but it's adding to my file size. Even if it is 2 kilobytes, 3 kilobytes, it's adding to my file size. And that is not good. So let's look at the better approach. And that better approach is to use external reference. Okay. So how we run the external reference? If you go to your insert, you have. Oh, sorry, I'm in view. If you go to your insert, you have your. Where is it? I keep missing where this external reference is. Is it in insert or sorry, give me a minute. Where? Where? Oh, okay. Sorry, this is it. So you have my external reference. So for me to load the external reference, you have option to attach, to clip, and to do this. But we're not going to be using this guy. We are going to be using its dialog box. Okay. So how to bring the dialog box is to click here. You have this guy. So if you click on this guy, it's going to load the external reference dialog box. So now this external reference dialog box we have here, you notice because it's our current file, it's telling us that this is what we have currently loaded in this project and it's giving us the size. Okay, so we have all these things here. Then I want to also load this door, but not, I don't want it as a block. I want it as an external reference. So what I can do is I can come up to this place where I have attached. So the reason why I don't want to use this approach is if I just click on attach, it will just tell me to go and pick any file. I want to know the kind of file I'll be able to pick. So that's why I prefer using this option. And see why I prefer using this. If I go to this dialog box, I can start to bring in DWG, attach image, attach PDF. You see all this. All right, so you know what you're bringing. You understand? So because we want to bring in AutoCAD file, so I can say, okay, bring in AutoCAD file. So I click on bring in AutoCAD file. It's going to load and tell me to bring the AutoCAD file. So this is the file I want, the door elevation, the same door elevation. I'll bring this guy and I'll click on open. And this comes up. You notice just like your insert dialog box and you have this. Everything is fine here. Then I want it to be an attachment. So if I just click on open or OK, it's going to load this guy here. So where's it saying? I think it said something, it's already loaded, something like that. It said something here. Okay, so it's saying it's already a block in this guy, in this drawing. So let me delete all these guys first and see what we can do. So it's even conflicting, so it doesn't want, so let's just go back to our insert block and we need to get it out of there because if we still try to do it, it's still seeing it in the drawing, right? But it's still seeing it. It will still give us that error message. I know, sure, it will still give that error message. Yeah, because it's still here. So if I come here, I can decide to say I want to insert, redefine, explode. Um, can we take this off? No. Man, this is serious. Chip lock. I've hit brick wall. So I'm trying to see if there is a way to remove this guy so it's not in this drawing. I think because we've already inserted it, so it's seeing it. But so this should AutoCAD should look for a way to get rid of insert and explode. Define only current drawing is only inserting and exploding, and I can't delete. percent. We can't delete. Still the same thing. Remove from recent. It's only removing from recent list, but it's still here and it's still here. So that's the problem. So let me see if I can bring in another object. Okay, so this is what I'll do. We'll always find the solution, that's no problem. So go to document where it is. I'm going to duplicate it actually, and I'll just rename it. So this door elevation, so I'll just Control C, Control V, and you have this door elevation copy. So I'll just change this. I did not tell you to open it now. Just okay. So we'll call this elevation 2. So let's try and load this guy. So if we can actually close this now. So if I click here, I can attach the drawing and bring the door elevation 2, which is this one. So it shouldn't give us any error message because this one is not loaded. So we have the door elevation 2. Okay. So I can place this door. I want you to see the difference. If I place the door here, you notice what happens. First off, it brings the door into this guy, into this place, and then we have it's highlighted. So what I'll do now is I'll go back to insert that door one. This guy, I'll insert it and place this here. Let's just place it up top here. Okay, so we have this guy placed. So if we select this, we can copy this and move from here to here and also to here. You notice when I saved, you notice what happened to this guy. Hmm? Let me copy again. If I select this and do copy, just note this 161 kilobytes. So if I copy from here all the way to this place, to this place, to this place, escape and I save, Control S. Still not changing because we don't have stuff more. So let's still add more because probably this is very small. The kilobyte is very small. So I'll just copy again. So let's just select all these guys all the way to this place. I'm still going to delete them and copy them here. From here to this place, to this place, to this place, and escape. So let's just save this Control S. That should, so it's not adding, so it's meant to, okay. So, but then it's adding up, but it's not, it's minute stuff. But then I don't, free now. I don't want, sorry. Let me use the other stuff. Let me use viewcast. Yeah, it's still recording. No, it's recording my own screen, not the. Why is it saying it doesn't support? It has started again. Saying it doesn't support, so I'm afraid I have to use this. Are you sure it's not from this place? Okay. All right, so sorry about that. So I don't want to use this. So instead, I will delete all these guys. I will delete them so I can just undo all this stuff that I've done. So instead of me using this, I could actually use this guy. So I could now copy this. So if I say, okay, I want to copy this one, I can now start using the same approach to copy this file. Okay, so it will be seeing only this file, and then that's just all it's seeing and nothing more. It's only seeing the file part. And the good thing here is that it may be insignificant in 2D drawing, but by the time you start doing your 3D modeling, 3D modeling definitely has large size. So adding these things will really add to whatever stuff you're doing. So that's why this is important. And now the thing with this is that you notice that it's highlighted is kind of faint compared to the drawing. This just to show you that these guys are X reference objects, right? So we can do a whole lot with this X reference object. We can right click on it and decide to say, okay, we want to open the file, open the original file so that we can work on it. And that's the advantage, the good thing also. So working on it, everything will be updated. We can attach, we can detach it from here, we can unload. Okay, so let's just look at a few of these things. If I say I want to unload, so what's the difference between unload and detach? If I say I want to unload this, it's going to take it off all this drawing, they will just go invisible. This does, but it's still going to be loaded in my drawing. Okay, so if I say okay, unload, they are off, but you see there's this red sign here, which means it's still there, but it just unloaded it from the drawing. Okay, but if I want it back, I can just right click again and say reload. If I reload, it brings them back. But if I go and say I want to detach from the drawing, notice if I detach from drawing, that means it's taking it away from this drawing completely. Do you understand? If I say detach, it takes it completely away from the drawing. So there's no way you can bring it back until you have to go and reload. Do you understand? So you can say, okay, I want to attach it back and bring it back. Eh? You might not know, see Control Z, I'm doing Control Z. Okay, it's back. But what if you've done this and you've saved it? Now, if you save this and close this drawing and reopen it, Control Z, you know Control Z won't work. So you have to bring it back. So let's see. XREF type, so is an attachment or overlay. These ones are just there. So you can also open this file. So if I open the X-ray file, you have this. This is the original file, which I can work on. Okay. So I can say, okay, this guy, I don't want this to be part of it. I can select this, delete it, and just save. Control S. Once I save, here you would have seen the update. But the update is not, you can see it's now telling me that an xref was modified. So that means I need to go and reload. So this is where this refresh comes in play. So anytime you make modification on any xref, you get a notification. So that means you don't actually need to reload here. You can just come here and refresh. So if I say I want to refresh this, it's going to refresh and get this out. So let's just see. So reload all reference, and you notice that. Okay. So what else? I think that's pretty much all there is to with this. So what I'm preaching in essence, in all this is I'm saying is that when you create your block and you want to use it in project, bring them in as extras. Okay? Bring those blocks you've created, bring them as extras is better than just bringing them as block. Do you understand? Okay. Another thing is you can actually create an object as a separate file and just save it, not as block. So I can open a drawing and just do window and save it as a normal drawing. If I save it, I can put in my location, put it anywhere I want. Once I put it in where I'm putting it, then I can load it also as extra. But the thing with that is that when you are creating that stuff, you have to create it in your origin. Do you understand? If you don't want to make it a block, you have to create it in the origin. Meaning, so if I'm creating a door or a window, that window has to be in this origin. It has to be created here, not somewhere here. Mind you, when we're creating the block, it always asks us to pick a base point. And because you always pick a base point around the object, so it remembers that in that drawing. So if you are bringing as xref, it remembers the location it's in. Do you understand? But if you don't do it as block, if you are inserting anything, it will always reference to the main origin. So which is why you have to create it at the origin point. So that's just a tip. So that's for external reference. Then we now have this main thing that we talked about. Mind, did you have any question before we move on? Do we have any questions? No question. You two don't have any question. That's cool. Because if I give you my classwork, you don't ask the question that time. So if you have any question, ask. Okay. So I'm going to close this external reference and then let's come to this place. So if I come down here, you notice let me just delete this. And then delete this. So I'm left with layout one. Okay, so that's that. So if you create a new drawing, if you create a new drawing using this approach, you're going to be given two layouts by default, inclusive. So you have your model layout and additional two layouts. So like I said, the model layout is the drawing space where you do your drawing. So you can have as many drawings. It has infinite working space. So you can have as many drawings as you want. Then it is this layout page they are the paper page where you set and print on. So when you are printing, you don't want to print in your model sheet. Okay? You don't want to print it. You want to print with this guy. And the reason why you have a lot of reasons why you want to print with this sheet. One of the reasons is that you can actually set these pages or this sheet to a particular paper size, which you can't do with your model sheet or your model layout. You can't. So if, for instance, I want to print on A3 size, you can actually set this to A3 size. So let me just stop this guy so that we turn on the